I want to build on Dream. I have been a dreamer since day one. Matter of fact, when I was young, we'll stand up here. Okay. That was my dream. To explore new worlds.
Whoa, stop it.
Now I spent 20 years as an architect dreaming, learning to articulate, detail, and manifest dreams into real places for real people and real communities, and I became unsatisfied. And I decided that I was done designing the stage, and I wanted to play as a person who got to contribute to designing the play on the stage, the human drama, the moment of contact between humans where love and energy and intention thrive. That's where I wanted to play, and that's where I wanted to design, and that's where I wanted to have impact. So out of the blue, out of that prayer, came an opportunity to become a University of Cincinnati professor to teach architecture students how to go in and out of the world, how to practice theory and practice. And so now I run the co-op program for the architecture students and help them with the reflection on their experiences in the outer world. I have learned something huge, and I knew this all along, but I needed to have it reactivated. Students love to dream. We were all dreamers. How many people had a dream in college? We had a dream. Hopefully, you're working on that, right? And these students want to work on that. So I take this job. I'm a little bit anxious because it's a career shift for me. It's a new vernacular. It's a new culture. And 1 week into my job, the Haitian earthquake hits. And I'm wondering, what is our university going to do about this? So I'm asking colleagues, what's going on? What's going on? Silence. Nothing. So my inner architect says, well, what would I do? I would gather a team of people from different disciplines, and we would brainstorm, and we would assess the situation, and we would begin to come up with ideas and inspirations and begin to work on it. And can we extend that to students? And so what happened was, during 2010, we also really didn't have a lot of jobs. My colleagues were freaking out. They didn't have enough jobs for their students. So I step up to bat, the new guy on the block, and I say, I'm just going to proclaim this. We are going to have a studio of interdisciplinary students who are going to make a difference, and they don't have to volunteer. They want to be paid on co-op. They're going to be paid. And I'm not only going to get jobs for my students, my new colleagues, I'm going to get jobs for you guys. And they looked at me like, what are you talking about? That's nuts. And from that intention, exactly what I had envisioned occurred. We had a firm in Cincinnati decide that they would host our studio. This is the relationships that emerged. And, excuse me, I guess I'll look at this here. So that studio, or that firm, is a worldwide design firm, and they said, we have space, we have computers, we have resources, and we would be more than willing to assist your students in working on this problem because our corporation wants to work on this problem, and we want to make a difference, but we just don't have a lot of time. I said, can you give me a few pro bono hours and sit down and look at what my students are doing? And they said, we'd love to do that. So they were very happy to engage this. The Rotary Club said, we have a budget to do something in Haiti, and we'd be more than happy to set up scholarships for your students. And I put the posting out there to the students who were seeking co-ops, and we had a record number across different majors respond. There were more people responding to this opportunity than major corporations in the Cincinnati area. And my colleagues looked at that and go, what's happening? And I said, students want to make a difference. And they don't have to be paid as much as they would normally be paid. But if they have an opportunity to make a difference, number one, and work with each other in a studio model, in a student-to-student teaching model, where they can learn from other majors and learn to speak like an engineer and think like a businessman and envision like an architect, they're going to be very happy with that. And sure enough, it flew. And out of this grew the Co-ops for Causes model, in which we took a look at a lot of growing opportunities, a lot of teaching modalities, and it just resonated. I wish I could have said that I grew all of this ahead of time, and then, as a stroke of genius, made it happen. Trust me, it was an act of faith, an act of vision, just go with the flow, and all of the resonances and things I'm still gathering and realizing, wow, there was a lot of genius in that, and what an honor to be part of it. So now I'm going to fly you through things that students are doing. They came up after a very intense sensitizing process and working with people in Haiti and working with each other that solutions were very simple. Affordable, flexible, safe, bamboo, earth bag construction. Not only did we design, we also built. We gathered a community of volunteers. And that was our first prototype. Then I realized after that first experience, the first 2 studios at Co-op for Causes, that there was something emerging here, and it had to do with empathy. And I began to study what do I need to do to prepare the next studios. We need an empathy exercise. So if you will, let's take a moment and do an empathy exercise. I have the students to imagine that they own a radio station, and that radio station has a broadcast range. You're going to broadcast a message, your hope, your dream, the core message that you have for the world. What impact do you wish to have? Please broadcast that. But one thing about your radio station, it has a big switch. And when you flip the switch, the broadcast tower is now a reception tower. And once you've broadcast your dream, I want you to flip the switch and listen to the territory that you're broadcasting into. And I want you to hear back. And then I want you to double your range and think about your neighbors. This slide doesn't look exactly the way I intended, and my apologies. Think about your neighbors to the north, to the south. The interesting thing about the lower right image, Spencer Tunick's work with people around the world in which thousands gather in a place and disrobe. Is that scary? Or is that profound? What's going on here? And I asked them to extend again. And once again, I apologize for the slides. They're supposed to have a black background. And begin to look at cultures and all kinds of disparities and contrasts and polarities, and look at things through the wide range of what's going on. Then become conscious of the condition of our planet and our people, and the condition of people within those cultures, where one culture can get mired in the mud and another can ride a bicycle across a lake. What's going on here, people? And then to begin to take a look at the collective consciousness, the dreams, the hopes, the utopias, the dream time, and even see the violence and the terrorism in a new context. Why is someone so angry that the dream that they had wished for would result in the desire to destroy? And finally, biosphere consciousness. When we begin to emanate our signal and receive the signals and the hopes and the dreams of not only people, but the planet, all life. And we don't have a lot of time to do this, folks. We just have a life, a season that we are allotted. So, our next quest was the Dream Center, and we began to approach it the same way that most architects do, which is hierarchy of needs, intense programming. We gathered a multidiscipline studio again, and we were thrilled to get the charge of Brian Hall and his team to come up with something that would truly impact the marginalized in a systemic, holistic way, and not just a particular group, all of the marginalized. And the students quickly informed me that that hierarchy of needs to be updated, and that it looks different to different people and with different technologies at play. And we began to take a look at cosmologies and other ways of looking. And we looked at holistic as a way of seeing. And finally, this is my last slide, the students came up with an exploratory campus in which they could interact with the marginalized and have laboratories for holistic health, for a sustainable enterprise, for community engagement, where they could play out their dream in a place that has agriculture and life and nature and hope. And then once we've played in this campus and experimented and used this as a laboratory, take those results into each and every neighborhood. We are looking for players through Core Change to assist us in this campus as well as each neighborhood. Thank you very much.